Mediocre Rumble Brothers. Three, two, one.
Just clearing my throat.
All right. All right. Hi, I'm Jordan, your host, and welcome to Mediocre Rumble Brothers. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel on YouTube or give us a follow on that Rumble. It really helps us out. Now, let's jump into our today's topic, video game achievements. Let's get into it. So the very first thing we're going to do with our first question is, how do you think in-game achievements impact a player's overall gaming experience and motivation?
I feel like this is a very personal question that goes from like person to person. So just some people hate the badink of trophies or achievements coming in the middle of their gameplay. As Corey said, I think you can actually like disable that shit from happening nowadays. But
I
don't know.
But it's always tracking regardless if you turn it on or off.
Oh yeah, it's still going. It's just people just as Jordan had an example of earlier. It's like you can be some serious story cutscene, and then it's like it pops up. It's like, you killed Rex. Good job. And you're just like, oh, I'm sad, but okay. I got some gamer score, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like an achievement hunter, and like we'll probably get into that questions, but I feel like some people, depending on like how they view achievement points, like I know 360 was kind of a huge deal. I don't know how big it is in modern gaming now, but like people were going online trying to find out what games had the easiest achievements, and they would rent them from like Blockbuster. I think the notorious game was like the Avatar Last Airbender game.
Yep.
It was like you could get 1,000 points in like 30 seconds or something like that. I mean, that's a very specific thing for like people who are trying to get high scores. But there are some instances of like, you know, people that check all the achievements before they start playing the game to see which ones they're going to go do first. If that is how they play. And I used to play games that way. I played Dead Space 1 that way. I saw that they had the one gun challenge. So I figured I would do that in hard mode, in one session. And that kind of, oddly enough, that did make my experience playing Dead Space like way more intense because I was doing it with just the one gun on hard difficulty. So it did kind of amplify that, I guess. But, I didn't really use achievements to kind of drive my gameplay later in gaming. It was only because like I had a bunch of friends that liked achievements. So we would talk about like, oh, did you get this one? Or like, we were playing all together. We were trying to 1,000 the game as we were playing it in co-op campaign. So I guess that kind of dictated how we were going to try to get through that game too, because we wanted to like explore every aspect of Halo 3 when we were playing it together.
Yeah, because I typically kind of ignore achievements actually, unless I'm like, I have to really like the game in order to start investing myself in the achievements. It's either that or like I'll go back in retrospect and be like, oh, I'm only like 2-3 achievements or trophies, whatever, off of getting 100% or whatever. I valued them so little that like I got a ton of it in the Xbox 360 days, and when the Xbox One came out, I don't know why, I just wanted to change my gamer tag because I didn't feel like getting back into my old Microsoft account, so I just made a new one and therefore just abandoned all of my gamer score that I earned throughout the entire time. But I felt nothing. I'm just like, nothing of value was lost here. Because even in the 360 days, I feel like the only achievements I remember getting, and it was less for the achievements themselves, as they were, I've mentioned this before, but it was the Vidmaster achievements in Halo 3 and Halo ODST, because you had to do all those Vidmaster achievements to unlock the recon armor in Halo 3. So I wasn't really doing it for the achievements per se, I was doing it to get that armor, which did lead to a bunch of cool gaming memories. But again, it's just like, that was just the method at which I unlocked that armor. I wasn't doing it because of the achievements.
I mean,
I think it also.
I don't mind achievements, but it's like sometimes some of them are meaningful, some of them are like very hidden. Sometimes the Xbox has some in a game that they don't
like
even
secret
show
ones.
you. Yeah, it's like a little annoying, but it's like you just look it up on the internet and then find it.
Yeah, PlayStation has hidden trophies as well.
Yeah, I don't understand the point of even adding those, because just like, how am I supposed to know what I'm supposed to do if you won't tell me? Am I just supposed to test the game and just literally do everything, do everything on everything until something happens?
Isn't there an achievement in Dark Souls 2, which is like your first death?
Yeah,
And it's like Welcome to Dark Souls or something like that.
yeah, it's very funny, but it's like I've seen some memes about it where it's just like the 2% of players that haven't unlocked achievements are just like imagined as like the best players. Like, I played through this whole game and never died once on the first try. It's just a funny joke.
I guess. I don't know what to
The
say.
weird part, I guess, is like, yeah, achievements that get like locked out because of something like that. But I guess another way to look at motivation would be achievements that could kind of help drive your replayability, where like you might see an option to do something that you didn't know when you were playing it the game before. You're like, oh, I didn't know I could like kill that person or like do that quest or something like that. So you might go back and try to get it because it's a way to kind of indicate there are other options in the game that you might not have seen.
Some of them do end up being a surprise, where it's just like get a million gold coins or something. Of like in this game in one playthrough, and then it just shows up, and then you look at your inventory, it's like, oh, I do have 1 million coins, and time to spend them.
Or I think the ones that I like is if you're playing some kind of game that there's like secrets to find, and like you feel like you figured out some kind of puzzle, you figured out something, a puzzle, a secret path, whatever, and you find the secret thing, and then an achievement pops up. It's like you found the secret Thwompa Womp, and it's just like, oh, cool! Like I earned something, I guess, because I earned that by playing the game, smart. I guess I figured it out, sort of thing.
Definitely. I was going to say, definitely some achievements feel like more impactful than others, for sure.
Yeah, I'd say for me, if it was looking at the achievements and how they impacted me as a gamer before, it didn't really make any way until, like everyone has just said, PS3 and 360 era, where achievements was basically the one king out there that was constantly keeping a lot of people engaged with trying to purchase newer games, rent newer games, just trying to play them to get that little fix, that little bit of I did something. And that's really what I want to see, is that thing popping up, and then I can basically show the leaderboards who's king, basically. And that was something that I knew for sure that I was dealing with before, since I was mainly in the PS3 zone. That's what I was usually playing. Friends would always have the 360. I eventually ended up getting the 360, but it definitely for me added value for the amount of time that I was going to be spending with the game, just because particularly I usually don't put too much time and effort in trying to find these side missions or anything unless it really truly is going to benefit me in the game. Say it's like an RPG game where I literally have to build up a certain amount of level experience before I can fight the boss. The stronger I am, the easier it gets. If I send to find myself more ways to get more quicker experience, I do these side missions, and that's how I achieve it. Or, you end up getting to that point where you play the game and then you end up having a friend or somebody saying, well, look, I did this. I'm at this level, blah, blah, blah. I have this many platinum trophies, or I have this many total points. And then you end up going out of your way because it's kind of a competition. So you end up making this last longer than it needs to, going back and replaying it or picking up a new game to play, which are hilarious when you see others that end up picking up movie games that are just dog shit, but they just want to get it because of the achievements. And that was a huge thirst. There's some super crazy shit that went back then to now where I don't even look at that shit. It doesn't even pay me no mind. It's literally not even there. So never even pay attention to if I got an achievement. If I do, it's like, oh okay, well, I guess that's okay. But back then it was a lot more bigger than it used to be.
Well, the last achievement related news that I heard was for Concord, where everyone just like queued up for a match like as much as possible, and then just immediately just jumped over the edge and just like constantly died over and over again for very specific achievements, which is playing multiple or a set amount of games for an achievement. But because this was the time that it was announced that the game servers were going to shut down within like the last 2 weeks or so, people just started like spamming game after game just to try and get as many matches in for those achievements, because once the game shuts down, then those gamer scores is going to be gone forever. So it's like a trophy enough in itself that I got this achievement before the game that is no longer available shuts down.
Yeah, I think another, like, I guess a positive thing that achievements and trophies could provide is, like, people that don't have the luxury, I guess, of like just building a massive collection or having a huge library of games. It kind of creates this like checklist of things for you to do to get the most out of a game.
Yeah,
it really depends.
I mean, I was just about to follow up on that. Not necessarily for any game, but like if there's a game that you really, really like, and you've done everything in game, like the in-game checklist of whatever, collect everything or whatever, what have you. But then the achievements and trophies are separate things, you know, quote unquote, outside of the game because they're more part of the system than the game itself. So it just gives you more content to participate in of your favorite games. I think that's probably the most positive effect it has, just giving you more stuff to quote, you know, giving yourself more to do.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 2. Can you describe a specific achievement in a video game that you found particularly challenging or rewarding?
I'll bring it back to what I just said, the VidMaster achievements in Halo, because I'm going to try and remember all of them off the top of my head, but I'll probably miss one or two because they were definitely not all created equally. Because one of them was like just find all the skulls on the new Forge maps, which are piss easy. You just have to know where they are and pick them up. That's nothing. Probably the two that stuck out the most to me, and especially one in particular that I know that stuck in everyone's craw doing it, was the VidMaster Challenge Endure. Where on Halo ODST you had to survive, I think it was like 4 sets of enemies without losing. And from what I remember correctly, that was a lot. Like that was a lot of playing to do like that with 4 people, and you had to have like 4 people and shit like that. And that one was particularly interesting because I had a whole big LAN party. I had all my friends over. We had like 5 people over, and we were trying to do that achievement, and we were at it all night for hours and hours and hours. We keep getting close. We developed strategies. We picked the correct map we needed to do and stuff like that, and just kept developing this thing where we had 2 choke points, 2 people at each choke point. We had to call out when we were reloading and stuff, so we only had gunfire going down those choke points. Like it was crazy fun, but we kept losing over and over again until finally, I don't know why we didn't do this earlier, but out of all of my friends there, we had one of the people we had playing was definitely not as experienced in Halo as the rest of us were, and our other friend who was there, who definitely played it a lot more, because it was like one of our friend group he was in our friend group, but out of the 5 of us, he was the only one that didn't like get on Halo nearly daily playing Halo 3 multiplayer. We swapped him out for the guy who could play really well, and we got it that next time just like instantly. We were like, why didn't we do that to begin with? Why was he playing? But I remember that one really well. There was another one. I don't think it was as hard as the other one, and I forget what the title of it was, but I think it was like you had to beat the last level of Halo 3 ODST with just mongooses and rocket launchers, and it's like a segment where you had to drive down this really long highway segment. Like it's a vehicle combat section, but under ordinary circumstances, you were given a scorpion tank to fuck around with. So it was like, no, now you have to do this with mongooses and rocket launchers, and that was on Legendary, I think, too. So that was pretty difficult.
God damn.
Yeah, it was real. That one, weirdly enough, that one wasn't nearly as bad because when you're doing it co-op, you know, you don't like you can afford people dying because you don't have to turn on any skulls. So as long as one person was alive, it was keep going. And then another one that was like deceivingly difficult was kind of doing the same thing on the last level of Halo 3. You had to like do the last mission, the part where you're driving over Halo as it's collapsing, but you had to do it in ghosts instead of the Warthog. And again, which makes it substantially harder because the Ghost does not handle nearly as well, especially with the falling platforms and stuff. And when enemies shoot at you, they are much more prone to being pushed around. But that one, again, that one didn't take us nearly as long. It was definitely the Endure challenge that was the biggest hurdle to overcome. But that one always stuck in my mind as just like a really nice gaming memory to accomplish. That's probably the biggest thing. Again, doing it more for the armor, but I still had to do it for the achievements. But that's always a memory I'm going to carry with me for like forever.
Corey, you going?
I was gonna say I bought enough time for the rest of you to think. Come on.
No, I was gonna say
my
like
mic wasn't muted. I was looking at something.
I don't think it was. It's not something that I did. It's just something that I remember seeing, like when I was playing Gears of War, is to kill 10,000 people online, and it's like that is such a high number because the rounds are very limited. I think isn't it 4v4 or something like that?
I think it was it for. It must have been for. I didn't play very much of.
Isn't that
definitely
possible now?
Well, like it would be, I suppose, but there was also some other crazy like knife one in like Battlefield 2 that I remember somebody uh, basically spending their entire afternoon log in with some people for like a private match just so everybody can get this like knife a bunch of people in a game achievement or whatever. But those are just like they're tedious tasks, right? So like I guess for me the achievements that I would be like, oh nice, if it was something a little bit more skill based, because I mean I guess you could say like, well, I killed 10,000 people online, that's definitely a skill based. It's like, or you know, you just grind the game out forever. Because if it was like a Devil May Cry achievement where it's like you got a 50 hit combo or a 100 hit combo or something like that, you know, that feels pretty good because it's like, you know, when you get like 95 and it like the combo meter like ends because an enemy hits you, you're like, dang, I was right there, you know. And that's like, to me, that's a much better feeling of an achievement, is like something that is directly skill based rather than something that gave you because you had the time to do it.
Yeah, anytime I think I tend to lose interest in achievements as soon as the achievements start requiring like really tedious tasks like that, because I just generally don't feel like it's the definition of what an achievement or a trophy should be. Like it's just like this. Yes, getting 10,000 kills or whatever is hard in quotation marks, but hard in the sense that it's going to take for fucking ever. Not hard in the sense, because there was like what there was an achievement in Warhammer or in Space Marine 2 where it was like a meta achievement for killing like 41,000 enemies or something, because it's Warhammer 40K takes place in the 41st millennia, so it's like 40 or something. It was something like that, 4,100 enemies, something like that. But when I got that, I didn't feel special. I'm just like, yeah, that would have happened regardless because I played the fuck out of this game and just the whole game is killing shit. So I'm just gonna get it sooner or later just by playing the game. So.
Yeah, it's like an endurance run or something. It's kind of like how I feel about like the quests in Fortnite when it's like do this thing in different matches, and it's like, I mean, you're forcing me to play, you know, 5 matches to also do that thing, but you know, it might take place in a specific location that doesn't have the flyover, so I couldn't do it that match and whatever. So like those like super endurance run achievements that require you to play the game for hours on end, like those usually just drive me crazy. I put them in the same category of like fetch quests. Like I fucking hate fetch quests. So it's like, you guys go sit over there. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I vastly prefer achievements where it is literally what I just said with the vid masters. It's like, here's a really specific thing to do, like an actual challenge to overcome. Like that's an achievement I really like to get behind. Or even you can just, I mean, I think achievements even as simple as just beat the game on the hardest difficulty is valid, because I mean it's hard, right? So that's an
completing a game, completing a game. Like when you get achievements just for hitting chapter. Okay. I mean, I don't really think that you need one for that, but it's something, I guess, to kind of like ping your progress.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't really care for like just the progress achievements. Those are kind of lame IMO, because it's like, yes, I am playing the game. In fact, I don't think it's an accomplishment to just be playing the game and progressing. Isn't that the point?
Yeah, like found your first weapon, and it's like, well, I had to, not even skill. You should have just, as soon as I booted the game up, you should have just defaulted me with 320 gamer points, because like all of these things I have to do anyways in the fucking tutorial.
Yeah.
So, like load a save. Like no shit. you know.
Yeah, go ahead, Evan.
It was like the last time that I actually went like achievement hunting was for Resident Evil 4, the remake. It was like I went very hard on this game, and I played it like 18 playthroughs, because that's just how much it takes. Just how much it took me, because I didn't take the optimum route, because I didn't immediately look for this kind of stuff on the internet for like the best route to take for each mode. But for the hardest one to do was not professional mode, and then like the only having 10 saves in one playthrough, but it was the hardcore mode. Because the difference between hardcore and professional mode is that even though in hardcore, I believe the enemies are still weaker than in professional mode, but stronger than normal mode, there's just twice as many enemies in every single encounter. And then it's just so much more things to deal with, rather than just like the same amount of enemies that are just like twice as strong. But it's just like incredibly infuriating, because in Resident Evil there's some parts where you can't really escape until you kill everything, or there's just like very crowded areas where unless you keep moving and then make sure you don't get stuck in a corner, then you'll be fine. But it's just very chaotic with twice as many enemies everywhere. So I was losing my fucking mind for that chicken hat at the end of the mission, so that way when I go in professional mode, I can wear that hat and take less damage.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Because the unlockables, the unlockables for that game are like helpful for other playthroughs. So I really needed chicken hats, so that way professional wasn't a even worse nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, for me, as again, I had a huge love for achievements back then when PS3 was going around along with 360, because I do recall that I was trying to compete with other friends and playing Drake's Uncharted, because that was like my main game that I really did enjoy, 1, 2, and 3. So I was playing them just too much basically, and when I kept seeing that there was more achievements that I could get with those trophies, I would just keep trying to do it. And usually the hardest one was just to beat it on the hardest difficulty, which would just be basically you get shot one time and it's game over. So you're struggling a lot and you're just trying to run through it, and it just takes so much out of you. And then there's the ones that are, like the 360 Dead Rising, where you're just killing thousands upon thousands of zombies, where it's just a lot of your time rather than actually skill. And then there's those ridiculous ones that are beyond that, where, in Dead Rising, I believe there was, I think it was called 7-day Survivor or something like that. And and it was
had to do it like real time, like I think it's like almost real time. You had to sit down and play the game for a very long period of time without breaks.
No dying. Yeah, there was no saves. So you're just like, holy shit, like that's something I didn't really want to touch. So it's like I couldn't imagine it.
And here's the thing, like, I think that might be a bit out there in terms of what you're going to ask of someone, but at the same time, I still think that that's a legitimate achievement. Like, it is a single hard challenge placed in front of you where only a few people are going to have the wherewithal to actually do it. It still seems to be a bit extreme in my tastes for something like that, but I mean,
Yeah, and I know that they had the same thing for more recent, well, not recent now, it's kind of old, but Final Fantasy 15, or which is the one that you had to fight this giant adamantoise. It took like
it's 15.
Yeah, 15. So I can't remember if it was 2 or 3 real-time days of fighting the damn thing. So just like that's not necessary. That's pretty damn intense to make that an option, but I guess more power to you if that's something that you really do enjoy. I even know that at one point in time, I was a huge Gran Turismo fan, and I'd be playing these racing games, and there'd be race tracks that you would literally be racing on a freaking track for 2 full days. They'd have like the 24-hour match, the 48-hour match, and you're just like, what the hell am I doing? But I'm doing it, so we want to get the best damn cars, so you're just doing these crazy-ass long-duration races that really just you don't really need to do it, but you know you do it. So it just, I guess it depends on what's the type of people that they're trying to get into it, and some people really love it, you know. So I do find that back then, since I didn't really have much sense in what I was doing, since I was basically, you know, teenager slash kid, so I really wasn't really thinking about what I was doing, basically just trying to kill time. And a lot of these things did give you that opportunity to do that, but now, you know, you kind of understand really how things work and time management and everything, and it just doesn't seem sensible to go towards these things. The only thing that I actually can say, though, is one that I've actually 100% achieved to recent was Devil May Cry 5, because I fucking love that game. That's a really good game, and I just kept replaying it and playing it. After I got my PS5, I just kept playing it, and then I got all the achievements basically at the end of it, because it was something that I didn't see any issue, because it did feel like you were doing missions rather than like you had to replay the entire thing. You could just go back and forth as you did. But I just liked the colors, I liked the fighting style, the graphics, everything was pretty cool, and the music was dope, so it all played well. So in question number 3, what role do achievements play in fostering a sense of community among players of the same game?
Like I said earlier, like I had a friend who was like in a group or whatever, and they would meet because they were all trying to go through in like 100% games, and they had like guides on how to do it, and like there's forums, like Reddit groups and stuff that are like, you know, we're gonna get together, pull up some online games that don't really have active like user bases, and do like local multiplayer, and you know, just so they can all have the points, I guess. For me, that doesn't make a lot of sense, because I don't think the points are used for anything outside of bragging rights, of course. Granted, earlier there was groups that wouldn't allow people in unless they had a certain gamer score, something, you know, prestige level, I guess, if you were trying to join like a team for, you know, professional gaming or something like that. Or like esports wasn't really that big when the 360 dropped, but it kind of started having way more games like of popularity rise, like Call of Duty 4 and Halo 3 and things like that. But I think that there was pretty decent amounts of people that were, there was like I don't know, because I didn't watch Achievement Hunters, but like given the name, I would imagine that that's like a channel kind of based around doing that, right? Or is it just like kind of one of the things they did? Because I don't know. Like,
no, it's like that was like the main thing that that group did, but it quickly fell out because they got more popular from doing other things besides that. Like they, at some point, they eventually stopped like making videos on like how to get like really difficult achievements.
Yeah, and it's weird because like I think of, you know, and we'll probably get into this later, but that achievements do kind of is like a double-edged sword, you know, because if you have people that are playing games for achievements, they're not playing the game for the game, and so it really kind of changes their approach to like that product in general. It's like they're looking online to see what is easiest, or like which game can I get 1,000 points faster, buying it and playing it just for the achievements, and they don't give a shit about any of the other parts of the game. That's not like massive, but you know, it is kind of like, you know,
I mean, I don't think the people who make the games are going to particularly.
Yeah,
care.
they're not going
like,
to.
Well,
yeah,
I got your money. I don't care what you're playing the game for. Fucking, you can take this goddamn gamer score.
The thing that could happen, and like I guess it's not that big of a deal, because like if you're getting like, I don't know if there was any arbitrary sales increases for games that shouldn't have sold as well as they did, just because they're easy to like 100%. Because you know, back in the day, you could still rent games from like Blockbuster and stuff, and people were renting that Avatar game to get 1,000 points. It wasn't like people love this game, let's make another one. So like that didn't happen. Aragon. It's just, you know, we didn't have people like getting you know, games like increasing games popularity for the wrong reason, I suppose. I don't really think that happened. But there definitely was games on radars for like easy 1,000 points. And you know, I didn't really see that much with like PlayStation like achievements. More people were so involved in like 360 achievements rather than the trophies, even though I thought trophies were better because it's like, you know, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. Like in PlayStation or the 360, it's like you got 20 points or 50 points or 100 points, that kind of stuff. And it's like, it's neat, I suppose. But because they were so like ahead of, like a year out, I think ahead of the PlayStation, that people were already invested. But I do like the trophies more, I guess, than the points, because that's just like text on screen versus like icon. Graphically, I think it's just better. But I
I'm
don't
the
know.
opposite. I think people like the gamer score as opposed to the trophies because they just like making the numbers bigger on their account.
Yeah, I mean, like PlayStation did add like your player level based on, and that's weird calculation.
You're a true gamer. I'm a level
Yeah.
7 gamer.
I'm a level 7 gamer guy. Yeah, but I mean, it does give people like a chance to come together to try to like gain points and stuff. So like, power to them if it's bringing them entertainment, I suppose.
I think it's nice. I mean, I always like anyone, playing game. Even if you're playing it, if you're not really engaging in the game, the only reason you are is to just get gamer score. I mean, more power to you. I know my friend Tim really likes getting gamer score. It's not his whole thing, but he does like achievements sometimes. And I remember one time I had to help him because typically gamer score. This is a problem specifically with gamer score as opposed to trophies, but gamer score typically comes in like 5G, 10G, 50G, 100G, typically, like in that sort of setup of how much amount you get. And what's funny is that some developers are dickheads and will put weird odd numbers for their achievements. So then now suddenly your achievement counter is a weird number that's not a multiple of 5 or a nice round number with a 0 or whatever at the end of it. And he got some achievement that gave him like 99 points or some shit like that. So his gamer score always looked weird. So I helped him, and like we researched a game that had an achievement worth 1 gamer score, so he could get his points back to a nice round numbers. And I forgot what the game was called. I don't even know what it was. It was on Game Pass for him, luckily. That you just turned on the game and you got an achievement for 1 gamer score for turning on the game. And that solved his problem. I just thought that was funny.
There's like some achievements, so like you get an odd number at the beginning, and if you want to make it a whole number, you have to beat the whole game.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think that the achievement stuff has as much as impact as it used to. I kind of think that it just adds a little bit more on top of the flavor of what's already there. It's mostly people are just hoping for a good, decent game nowadays rather than is the achievements good? It's like we're just hoping and praying nowadays that we can just pay a huge amount of money for a game and hope that we get our money's worth with what we did. So maybe possibly that with that whole achievement thing might make you want to say that it was okay, but I highly doubt it.
I mean, there are some like streamers that like while they're doing like really like long achievements, like kill 10,000 zombies in Dead Rising, they stream it, but like while they're doing it, there's like they're like talking to people in chat or like people are sending him funny videos to watch while he does the achievement.
Yeah, I mean, that's too. It's like you're thinking about like the whole Twitch and such, and I was kind of thinking about it myself too. It's just like you're watching somebody playing a video game, and it kind of seems a little weird, and it's like, why don't you just play the game yourself? But I mean, I can picture it myself. It's not the same thing because technology was different, of course. So it'd be like you're just going to a friend's house and you're just watching him play a game and helping him see if he's going to beat the game and such. So it kind of like gets you wanting to just basically sit in and tune in to what's going on. Now you're able to do it out of somewhere else, somebody else's home, and if you end up liking the person, how they play games and such, you can basically be the friend and hang out and watch them play. But I mean, it's different, and how these achievement things work, that does help them create more content because now they have something else better to do than just say, hey, watch me beat the game. Now you're seeing me achieve something that's either a little insane with the amount of time required or just the difficulty of how it's going to be, so it kind of just adds more flavor to it. But again, it's just depending upon what they're wanting to do with the video game that they purchased.
And
I mean,
it's also like a content creator thing too, because I know I like watching some videos of people on YouTube being like, I platinumed so and so trophy, or I got all the achievements in this game, and this is how it went. I'm just like, oh, that's not gonna say easy content, especially based on the game, but it's like the premise is simple. It's like I want to see someone kill themselves playing Gears of War. I'm not gonna do it, but I like
exactly. I don't want to struggle through that. I like to watch someone else struggle through that, and then I could just see like, wow, I'm so glad that wasn't me. You know?
Yeah.
There are it was like an interesting thing. I'm not sure if PlayStation does this, but I know that Xbox does it for like the people who do it repeatedly and have like some of the highest scores on the Xbox for it. But if eventually you could get recognized by Xbox themselves, and then they'll send you like a gold plaque with like your name on it, and then like it kind of like a YouTube award for like getting subscribers, but you reach like a specific milestone in gamer score where they send you like a gold plaque with like your name, and then like your milestone of gamer score, and then they give you like a lifetime subscription to Game Pass, so you can continue what you're doing without paying extra. So it's just like, well, it's like you're like giving us like a lot of advertisement and then like a lot of support by doing this. So it's kind of like a really interesting thank you from the company.
Okay, well, all right. Let's go ahead and just jump into our next question. So we got question. How do achievements influence the playability of a game for you?
It depends on how much I like it. Because if I don't, I mean, that sounds stupid, right? But it's just like, it's not even like as simple as like, well, obviously, if I don't even like the game, I'm not going to engage with it. But it's like, even games that I like, I don't even necessarily want to play again. Because sometimes it's like doing stuff in the game that I don't even find fun. Because I still only have an actual handful. Because I love Mass Effect. Never gotten all the 100%. And never got any of all the achievements in that game. Never really went out of my way to do any of them. It just seems like little random games again where like I guess the engagement isn't necessarily low, but it seems doable for me. Because I only have a handful of platinum trophies in PlayStation. I only have a handful of 100% achievements and because I don't think even before I got a new Xbox account, I don't think I even had any games with 100% gamer score. I can actually bring it up on my phone right now. I only have 5 games I have 100% achievements on in Xbox, and I can honestly say that only 2 of them were on purpose. Because 2 of them were easy. One is Omega Strikers, which is a multiplayer game where it's basically just, I think all those achievements were just like win a game playing whatever character. The other one is I have 100% achievement on Apex Legends, which again is like win a game with a support class, win a game with a tank class, win a game with like the damage class or whatever. So that wasn't hard. One of them's Ark Survival Evolved, but I only did that for a meme because Ark lets you basically just code in things. You can just spawn stuff in and they don't disable achievements for cheating. So I just cheated my way to 100% achievements on that game just because I thought it was funny. The only 2 I legitimately have 100% score in is Slime Rancher and Donut Country. Donut Country because when I was done with the game, that for anyone who doesn't know, Donut Country is a really simple game where you just control a hole and you just make it go around a map and you just have things fall in the hole and things get crazier and crazier. It's just a fun little game.
They're like similar to the Katamari premise.
Yeah,
kind of, sort of. It's just a very satisfying game with a minimalist art style, and like when I was done with it I realized I think I only had like 1 achievement I didn't do, so I went back and did it because why not.
Doesn't the hole get bigger and bigger and it starts swallowing bigger shit?
Yeah, you like start sucking up cities and stuff like that, and they somehow made it to where there was like boss fights and stuff you had to do. It was a fun game. I liked it. But that's it. And Slime Rancher like really was like the only one. Again, I got done with it and like I think I only had a few achievements I didn't have. One of them specifically pertained to like some kind of like speed run mode where you had to like get so much money within a couple days or like something within like the first day or 2 of the game. But I thought that was really fun. It says there's 57 achievements, but it's just like all the achievements on that felt doable and I really liked the game. So there was no like fucking murder 10,000 slimes or whatever. I'm just like, nah, I'm not gonna fucking do that.
Yeah.
But the next one I have is like Persona 5 Royal, which is kind of surprising because I only have this on like one playthrough, I think. I don't think I've played through this many more than once on here. Yeah. And just simple stuff like I guess I never cleaned up LeBlanc. I don't have that achievement. I didn't like overheat in the bathhouse. I never won the lottery. Like this looks like simple stuff. Played a game of billiards. I thought I did. Attended the jazz club and visited a temple. Then what's this intensive training? Use an incense on a persona in lockdown. Those are the only ones I don't have. I could probably go back and do. Honestly, I might go do that because reading those, that's pretty simple shit right there. But I would because I like Persona, right? So that's
Right.
what I would like about it. And I am gonna go back at some point and try and get all the trophies in Shantae. And I think the only platinum I had on PlayStation that I can remember right now, anyways, was for Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash, and it was Estival Versus, not Peach Beach Splash, because I almost have that one. And again, that was just fucking Gooner anime game. Just really liked it. The achievements were pretty fucking easy, and so I'm like, all right, I'll just do all the achievements. Fuck it, I'm always winning no matter what I do. And I think I was close on Diablo 3 as well, because I played the shit out of that game. I was close to that, but it was just for games I really like playing, or I just think the achievements are easy enough that I might as well thing. So,
Yeah, and I know for sure that Corey and I, when we were doing the PS3 thing, was a huge one that I think was adding more flavor to it. Was the fact that you were getting trophies based on rank, and I'm assuming all shooters do the same thing. But Warhawk were just constantly was in that playing that game, trying to get as high as we could, going up the ranks and getting those achievements as we did. And the same thing applied with Call of Duty, where I forgot what it's called, that when you hit the certain rank, prestige, right, and then you just keep going through that. And that was Corey and his team they were definitely taking care of that, like just every day. It was all right, it's Call of Duty, and then they jump on and start doing
Call of Duty 4 was that's like around the time I first moved out of my house and got an apartment with my friends, and we were like, we have discretionary funds and unlimited free time. Let's play COD constantly. But for the most part, like, achievements don't dictate how I play a game now. I mean, there are things where it's like I just kind of play it and see how many trophies I get or how many points I get based on one playthrough, and I just kind of look at it going, oh, that's neat. Like, I don't typically go out of my way to do them anymore, but when I was playing it would, even still, when I would pay attention more, it would be like, playing, let's say, Star Ocean or like Final Fantasy 13 or something, and it'll just be like, get everybody to level 99. It's like, well, there's a character I definitely hate using, so I'm not going to get them to level 99. Like, I'm not going to do it because it's an achievement. I'm just like, I will choose to opt out of achievements just because.
I hate this character so much.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's just like, or a quest where it's just like, complete or find every single item or whatever, find every single chest. And the only thing I can think of is like, there's no indication of what some games do have this now, which I appreciate for this type of shit, but older games don't tell you how many chests are in a dungeon. So if you just realized that you're missing 5 chests and you're at the end of the game, it's like, do you go back through every single dungeon to see what fucking and town, by the way, to find what chest it is that you missed? Like, how do you keep track of that? So some of those things I would just be like, well, I'll never get that one because I don't care enough to go sweep the entire game to find that one thing I missed, because I just don't know. Unless, of course, you went online. If it's an item that's like a key item and you can see where at on the thing, I can at least look up which one I'm missing. Unless, of course, they're not listed until you find them. So then you have to, through deductive reasoning, go, well, these are all the ones I. And so if there was a lot of effort on that end, I would just be like, well, that's a lost cause.
Like the infamous 600 feathers in Assassin's Creed 1.
Yeah, it's like, I will not go do those things, especially if it's like, if you're missing like a handful, it's like, well, I don't care enough to go find that shit. Even if the game's really fun, it's like, I'll just move on. But like, I think the the platinums I have on some games are all based off of like the Telltale games that I played all the way through. And then I might have played them more than once or something. And then those are the ones where they kind of just give you a trophy because you played it. But there's games that like I really enjoy, and those all have higher trophy counts. Because like I was really playing it, but like I wasn't trying to get the achievements. It's just how much I was playing the game as a whole. Like I actively doing side content and things like that, but I wouldn't chase achievements unless it was like early on the 360 days when it would just be like all my friends going to like rent something, or like sitting next to each other and everybody boots up the same game and they're like trying to do something. It's like, well, now it's a community activity like we mentioned before, so I may as well join in on this because it's fun since we're all doing it. But I would never sit in my room by myself and do that.
Yeah. The achievement hunting for me is like, it just gives more purpose to play the game over and over again, but like for more specific goals than just beating it to the end. Like Resident Evil, I love Resident Evil, so it's like I would play the whole game, like even for like the most simple achievements. Like that's pretty much what I did for like 2 weeks until I did it. And then when the Ada DLC came out, I did the same thing for that one. But like I only really do it for like games that I actually like Resident Evil, Kingdom Hearts, Elden Ring, and for Minecraft. Though for Minecraft, it's always updating, so it's like you'll never fully complete it because they're always going to add more with each update. But the one that like specifically like enhanced the gameplay for me, trying to do it, was actually Skyrim, because like, there's achievements that like some of them are hidden, but some of them are specific into how to play or what to look for. Like if it wasn't for the Join the Dark Brotherhood, I wouldn't have actually done that quest because I didn't know it existed. I found the door and wondered what it was before I actually did it. So it's like because it was an open world, having those achievements to go off of, it just gave more. It just gave more of a direct goal than just wandering around until I aimlessly showed up to it.
Mm-hmm. And I know that like for again back then, there used to, at least for me, used to be questions that would be always asked, if they were saying, hey, I'm looking for a specific game, or I want to try and get a good game, and then ends up being the conversation of what do you, are you a guy that enjoys playing just the game for its visuals? Are you looking for its storytelling? Are you there for achievements? Like, do you interest in that kind of stuff, or is that something that you look for? And then now it's not even existent as much as it used to be. But I know that was a huge thing that I would always be seeing people playing and seeing what they were doing, if it was just a little bit over the top or just something that was actually quite fun. Like for me, I don't know if anybody really liked it, but I enjoyed it, was playing Crackdown. When I was seeing that there were achievements and basically making your guy just overpowered by being able to jump super high, being able to modify your car and all that stuff, and you were basically doing these certain achievements that would pretty much put you in the right direction to make you want to make your guy overpowered as possible. And the fact that I was getting some sort of achievement while also doing it, when I was younger, it was a lot of fun to see that happen. And maybe that might have been something that I was missing for, quite some time when I was growing up, from Super Nintendo to that point where there was literally nothing. You would just only assume that you received an achievement because of how damn difficult those games were back then versus how they are now. They kind of figured out and learned from their mistakes of what game design needs to be, and maybe not. Maybe there's some games out there that were complete dog shit, but it's like they're kind of learning from it. And I just know that there are some places like Steam and such that are still putting these achievements in play, but it's up to the player if they're finding it of any interest, not as crazy as it used to be. So how do you think the concept of achievements has evolved from early video games to modern gaming experiences? I kind of already answered that for myself. I don't know what you guys think of that.
I mean, because obviously, if we're talking about from like retro to modern, because achievements and trophies appeared with 360 and PlayStation 3. It's just kind of giving voice, or I guess giving like direct, I don't know, quote unquote rewards for doing stuff what we would consider achievements in past games, anyways. I guess I don't know, like. I played Tomb Raider, I could get an achievement. It's like, now I played Tomb Raider without getting hit or something, or I got all the secrets, or there. That's a good example. Getting all the secrets in Tomb Raider would be an achievement nowadays, but just doing that back then when the achievements weren't a thing, that was just your own personal achievement, for lack of a better term for it. Now we're just giving more reasons to play games, I guess. I don't know. Just it's just giving you some kind of semi-tangible reward for doing something that you might have already been striving to do regardless. So
it's an interesting bragging right? Because like, oh, I 100%ed the game, and then someone would like prove it. It became this like whole shit talking mechanism, I guess, and that might have even been what spawned it. Is people now being able to show how good they are at a game, quote unquote, I suppose. But
that's so funny that you brought that up. You go ahead and finish, but I have something to say after you said that. That's funny.
Yeah. But like, I think that as much as like I don't really care about achievements like nowadays, I think it's neat to see like remakes and remasters, I suppose, get ported and then get achievements added to them that never had them before. Because when you remembered like a part in a game, like let's say it's something that you really enjoyed in an old game that got ported, and then you do it again, you're like, oh, it's that part, and you do it and you get an achievement. You're like, yeah, this is totally worth that. I thought that when I did this like 20 years ago, and I got an achievement for it today, and it makes a lot of sense why this part was so damn difficult. So it's kind of interesting that we get to see old games get achievements now. I think it's interesting that Nintendo doesn't do achievements, right? They don't have anything like across. They have their own little weird interactions because Nintendo just always does what Nintendo does. You can think it's good or bad. It's whatever. I'm just saying that they usually play their own. They're in their own sandbox playing around, while Xbox and PlayStation have usually been kicking sand at each other.
Well, we've literally said it multiple times already today, is that ultimately I don't think anyone really gives too much of a shit about achievements and trophies. They're nice that they're there, but like their absence doesn't bother me at all. Yeah, unless like you're playing for whatever reason, like achievements and trophies is what's got you into gaming, and like that is your one goal, is to make number go up and dopamine go off in your brain. Then more power to you, I guess. I'm sorry, I guess Nintendo games aren't for you, but it's like I'm playing Arceus right now. I don't need. I get an in-game like achievement and pride about getting the completing the Pokédex or whatever. Plus also just little in-game bonuses for doing it. I don't need it to go ba-ding, you have completed the Pokédex. I just do it something because it's just something I want to do. That's it.
Yeah, Nintendo. They're getting rid of the gold thing now. But used to just, and that's not really an achievement, but like if you have a game, you put the game in, and then you would get gold coins that you can use for whatever, like discounts on other stuff. And yeah, basically, it's like the easiest kind of reward, I guess, that you get from something. Or like the DS had the Street Pass stuff, and I know that's not an achievement, but like it was a way for players to interact. So they had like their own interacting social thing where PlayStation and Xbox used achievements, so that's kind of interesting. But Jordan, you want to tell your little?
Yeah, I thought it was just funny that you brought that up, because how again there wasn't any achievements back then. Like this brought me up to PS2, so I just remember that there was an incident. I say incident because it just turned out that way. It was funny. I remember, I believe I was in chemistry class, I think in high school, and then this is during the time when Corey, he was playing Kingdom Hearts. I don't remember if it was 1 or 2. I think it was 1, and literally you had that fight with Sephiroth, and you're beating him, and he was almost killing you because he'd do that drain shit on you, and you were just like, you finally beat him after so many times. And then I was in my chemistry class, and then there was a kid saying, I'm the best at this. I've literally beat Sephiroth with no damage, and then I told Corey that he's so full of shit. I want to find him and I want to kick his ass. Like it's just like I was laughing so hard because this literally was a day after the fact. Like he was, because I remember watching Corey. He died so many times. He was so pissed off, and then I went the next day because I think it was a Thursday, so Friday I was going to his house and I told him that. He's like, I want to find this kid, I want to kick his fucking ass because he's a fucking liar. And so it was just like funny to say because like there's no proof that kid did it. All it was just this, he just spoke it out, just saying this is what I did. I know
ground rumors.
Yeah,
virtually impossible in both Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 because he does that bullshit thing where he drains all your magic and all your health down to 1.
Right.
And I beat him in both games.
And that's automatic. That's unblockable.
Yeah.
I specifically remember beating him and jumping up out of my chair, just yelling in my room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what the hell's wrong with you? You know. It's just,
yeah, I did your
And the
job
thing-
loud.
And the thing is, you had that sense of accomplishment without Xbox or PlayStation going, "Badink, you
Yeah.
did it." You didn't like.
yeah, I mean, it would be cool, I guess, in that instance that everybody can see it, but it's like I have to load my save. Well, actually, I think you get something from it, so it's like that's the proof, right? It's like, oh, I have this item I got from Sephiroth or whatever, but it's just funny, right? Because yeah, the kid's just like, yeah, I did it with no damage. It's like, yeah, that's horse shit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his ass. Like, whoa.
But between like the retro achievements and like the modern ones is that there's definitely it's much more rewarding. They don't really do it in modern games now. But like in the past ones before like achievements were like a really big thing. They were actually just unlockables or for like the most notable memory for me for like achievement type of mechanic was Ratchet and Clank, where it's like they were considered skill points. So if you got like a certain milestone, you get like little cheats that you can put in the game, like big head mode or tiny head mode or something like that.
Oh yeah.
So it's like before achievements were a thing, there were unlockables like that. But now it's just like there's like you have both the achievements and some games have unlockables where if you do something in a specific way, there was like, cool, you get a new weapon or a new costume or something like that. I feel like that's much more rewarding than just like extra points on my account.
It's
For
face
sure.
finger.
Yeah, I miss unlockables honestly because achievements, like yeah, that dopamine hit of like my number's higher now was yesterday, but like playing GoldenEye 64 and then unlocking, you know, just like all of the different stuff, like that actually was worth trying to like go find these codes, like looking through magazines and like that was such a fun gaming experience of like riding my bike to the grocery store, flipping through magazines, trying to find secrets of stuff, and then somebody comes over and you're just like, watch this, and then you turn on something that they've never seen in a game, and like yeah, the company has to make it or whatever, but it's like it brings, you know, more fun to the actual experience rather than the cop out of like, what if we just told them it was a bronze trophy and did nothing? You know,
well, here's the thing.
Like even God of War added the model view, or the you could go up. Yeah, you could go look through the old models, or you could do the concept art, or you can look through like, you know, it's like you guys already have that. Just scan it and put it in the game. Like I love seeing that stuff in games, but like they kind of, you know, got rid of that, or they sell me a digital art book now. You know, with the download or the deluxe edition comes with like a PDF.
Well, here's the thing that like unlockables going the way of the dodo isn't a fault of trophies or achievements. It's a fault of microtransactions.
Yeah.
Is where we lost those because it's literally the same concept of like, you know, in Halo, I'm going to bring it back to Halo 3, the recon armor was a big deal because when people saw that, you know, it was like, oh, you either work for Bungie or you completed all the challenges. That's the only way you get that armor. Same thing, you get the Hayabusa armor, you had to beat it on Legendary. Not super hard achievement, but you still had to do it to get it. And it's like, but nowadays it's like, oh, well, pay $5 and you get it. So like the unlockables like that, I mean, some games still give you smaller unlockables and things like that. But it's truly not related to achievements and trophies. It's more related to that's a microtransactions like conversation right there because that's truly what took those kinds of things from us.
Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So, well, since you mentioned like the microtransaction things, there are I think it's happened for like almost every single one of the Resident Evil remakes, where after a while of like the game being out, eventually they'll release like a microtransaction that gives you all of the unlockables just like that. But it's
Yeah,
like
that's
it's not
fine.
available immediately. It's available after like maybe several months after.
If
So,
it's
like,
ever
I guess
made
that's kind of
available,
fair.
no, I don't think it's fair. That's still bullshit.
I mean, it's really up to you whether you buy it or not. But
Well, that's not the thing though. Is that it's an achievement? It's something you accomplish. That should be a privilege of those who have beaten the challenge to get the prize. You know, it's like I spent fucking 6 years of my life training to knock those stupid bottles over with the ball to finally get the big fucking like ad
Fucking
hoc
cannon.
Pikachu
Yeah.
plush, and then you finally do it, and then some asshole comes up 2 minutes later, is like, "Here's $5," and he just gets the Pikachu plush, and he just walks away. It's like, well, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah. No, I could see how like both of those are like you're saying like, well, it's cool for somebody like maybe months later to just be able to buy it, but at the same time, it's like I'm playing Lies of P now. That game came out like a year and a half ago or whatever, and it's like I'm earning a bunch of stuff if there was DLC for it, but not everybody's going to play Resident Evil the day it came out. So, like, you earning the infinite launcher and stuff, and then someone just like buys the game from the secondhand store and then brings it home, swipes their card, walks through the main story, and they go, "That game was easy." And it's like, well,
That's what I'm
well,
saying.
shit.
It's just like
Yeah.
I don't know what the prizes are for in Resident Evil. Let's just say
it's
you get a
just
phone.
all the special weapons.
Well, okay, let's just say you get the fucking an alien zappy gun for beating the game without getting hit.
A Black
And
Ops
you do-
reference.
Not where I was going. I just picked something out of the void, but sure. And you get that for like beating the game without getting hit, and it's like, oh my god, I fucking sweated for weeks or a month, however long have you it took you to do that, and it's like now I have the alien zappy gun because I dedicated enough time to beating the game without getting hit, and it's something you've earned. It's something cool. That's you. That you did it, and then some asshole comes and pays $5 and they just have it. It's like, oh.
So do you?
Cool.
I'm not the little bitch in that scenario. That's why. That's why I'm okay with
I
it.
guess, but they still. I mean, if I was the guy swiping my credit card, I don't give a fuck what you think. I still got the gun, and I didn't waste a fucking month of my life, did I? I just swiped my credit card. That's all I fucking did.
So do you think that if they were to, I guess, combine unlockables with achievements, do you think that would make people more prone to want to do those achievements rather than just play the game?
Because it's
normally?
what I just said. There was the VidMaster achievements were directly tied to earning an armor set in Halo that was super exclusive. I think that's really fun, and it gives more of a purpose to the achievements being a thing. It doesn't not necessarily that every achievement has to give you something, but the really really hard ones, it would be nice to be if they were tied to unlockables. I think that'd be cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
I think there was a Halo game where I specifically did like specific achievements because I wanted a certain armor.
well, that sounds,
Exactly.
That actually makes perfect sense. So I guess how games are going about it right now is just being just a side message saying, "Hey, you got this." If it was basically them being taken out of games completely, probably wouldn't pay any. Nobody would be basically hurt by it, is what I'm saying.
I feel like if trophies and achievements were just evaporated tomorrow, or like were just taken out within the next generation or whatever, like I don't think a lot of people would care that much. I know some people would be like, well, my gamer score that I've been working so much, or all my trophies are going away. Like I do, like some people would be upset, but I feel like the vast majority ultimately really wouldn't care that much, because I feel like it's a very small minority that go super hard on the achievements, and I would feel for those people, but
I mean, if you played Nintendo games religiously, you probably wouldn't even notice.
Well, even as much as I play Xbox and PlayStation, I would notice. I just wouldn't care because I don't actively go after those achievements. So I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
Because like a lot of the like real social aspect of like the like gamer score, like gamer tag stuff is kind of just like faded into obscurity, and it's just like a thing that only you ever see anyways. Because like a 360 used to have the avatars hanging out with each other when they were online, which I was cool. And then like there was some in-game stuff that you could like, if you got a certain game, like there'd be a t-shirt you could put on that character, and so there was like stuff associated with that. But now it's just like none, like PlayStation tried PlayStation Home, and that was like its own thing. But they kind of just like stopped caring about that aspect. And like Nintendo's the one that kind of keeps social things, I guess, kind of going with the Street Pass. But like, I don't really know exactly how they do it on Switch that much, but or if there is anything on Switch that they do outside of just seeing your friends online, and you could say which one's your best friend, and they have a different shirt on, I guess, or pants. But yeah, it doesn't hit the way it used to. So like, you could just get rid of them, and then people probably would just not even care, because Fortnite technically proves that it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm sure there's achievements in Fortnite, but like, they're all
tied
to battle pass.
They're all tied to the save the world mode. It does have achievements, but it's all tied to the single player mode.
Yeah, because you see your level, people that you're playing with see your level, so the social aspect of the growth in that game is directly tied to the people you play Fortnite with. They don't care what your PlayStation score is or whatever. So you just see everybody's personal progress on that, and that's that's common in like massive multiplayer games. Not saying that that's an MMO. I'm just saying like big community online games have their own way of tracking your progress anyways. Like, why would they give a shit how long I played Uncharted, So like, you could just erase achievements and no one would really give a shit. I don't think there's probably a handful. Someone's listening is like, hey, but
like I said, there would be people. There are going to be people that care. What the fuck was that? I heard my voice for a second. That was weird. There would be people who care. I just feel like it wouldn't be enough to really, not necessarily not matter, but it's just like the vast majority of people are just going to shrug it off.
I just like the idea that you're just, again, like you were just saying, that you're getting achievement, but you're getting actually gifted something for that, and I like that a lot. I really hope that there is actually a lot of companies out there listening wanting to be a part of that, because that would be pretty cool.
Blinked in and out.
I don't know. It wasn't me.
I'm still here.
All right, so do we want to go ahead and jump into some trivia?
Sure.
All righty. All right, and question number 1. In The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, to unlock this achievement, players must complete all the main and secondary quests in the game. Which achievement is this? Is it A, Master Witcher, B, Completionist, C, Untold Stories, or D, Path of the Wolf? There goes Corey.
Yeah.
Untold Stories?
Master Witcher?
The answer is B, Completionist. Corey, are you okay?
Oh, damn. I think you just said there was a storm going on.
Yep.
He might be.
He's probably getting hit by the gods. He's getting the gods coming for him. All right. Question number 2. In Minecraft, to earn this achievement, players need to construct a building entirely out of a specific type of block. Which achievement is this? Is it A, Block Builder, B, Adventuring Time, C, Constructing Dreams, or D, The Beginning?
The Beginning. I'm not sure what that is. That
it's
sounds
specific.
Like
it's specifically you have to make a house out of one type of block.
Correct. Specific type of block. Yep.
That's a really specific achievement. How
I play a lot of Minecraft, and I don't necessarily go for the achievements in that game either. But like that's the first I've heard of that one. A, I guess. Just go throw it in the void.
The answer is C, Constructing Dreams.
Okay, I guess so. I never would have guessed that, but I feel like that would be like. I feel like that sounds like an achievement you would get for like building a really big house or something with like a bunch of like rare blocks or some bullshit like that. That's what that sounds like to me, but whatever.
I mean, I still don't understand like how the game would know like that what you're building would be considered a house.
I'm going to assume you make a box with a door. That'd probably be the simplest thing I can imagine.
There's a little tiny box with a door.
I was actually building a shed or like a zombie hut.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the game you can make it recognize that, but I mean, like it what you were constructing this isn't a house, this is a shed. It's like, well, the game doesn't fucking know that. It knows you put down 4 walls, a roof, and a door. Like that's what it's understanding about the situation. So it's gonna give you the achievement.
It's a 3D.
It's not gonna stop and be like, oh, sorry, my bad, G. I'm gonna take your achievement away. I guess that wasn't technically a house.
Didn't qualify. We sent in a specialist to actually check to see if you're actually doing it.
Sent the fucking HRA from Animal Crossing in trying to fucking figure this shit out.
Achievement unlocked. You made a really shitty house.
Yeah, your house sucks.
All right, and question number 3. In Portal 2, to achieve this, you have to... players must complete a specific test chamber in a certain amount of time. Which achievement is this? Is it A, speedy recovery, B, can't touch this, C, overclocker, or D, final transmission?
Overclocker.
I was gonna say overclocker sounds the most reasonable.
That
Correct.
achievement sounds incredibly familiar.
Answer
Yeah, I
is
feel-
Another level. That sucked.
That sucked.
All right.
The game's good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll be wrapping it up today. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, and our brand new Rumble channel so you never miss an episode. Give us those 5-star ratings if you liked today's episode, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. And for all you gamers out there, just remember to keep playing, keep listening, keep exploring. Until next time, this is the Mediocre Rumble Brothers podcast signing off. Thanks for listening.
You totally didn't trip over that. You got an achievement. You fucked up the ending.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, okay, good. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Later.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Corey, and thanks for checking out Mediocre Rumble Brothers. If you liked the video, please drop a like, and if you didn't, that's fine too. If you'd like us to talk about any specific games, drop a comment below, or feel free to discuss your experience with the games that we mentioned in the episode. You can also listen to our episodes prior to YouTube on our Spotify. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.